Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast. Just a bit of a mouthful, isn't it, trying to get that out? I've been listening to quite a few podcasts lately, and I was thinking that maybe I need to have some kind of professional intro, one of those with music that kind of fade in and fade out, um, and tell you what it is that you're listening to, just for like 30 seconds or so, to avoid those little awkward introductions that you never really know quite what to say. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure. I haven't done it because I just don't know if it's very me. I like to launch straight into it. But then again, maybe it would be a good idea to kind of give listeners a chance to know who they're going to commit to listening to for the next 45 minutes or so. Who are you choosing to spend your precious time with, wherever or whenever you listen to a podcast? I like to listen to mine, not my own podcast, but other people's podcasts, while I'm prepping my lunch or, I'm walking to nursery to pick my little girl up. Anyway, I might do one. I haven't decided yet. But this whole dilemma leads me on to what I'm talking about today. And it's something that we all struggle with. And I think it's very prevalent, especially in self-employed people and particularly us creative types. So how many of you come up with an idea or a product for your business that you think is a good idea at the time, seems viable, it's possibly trending, everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon with it, making money from it, so why not you? Why not try it? Sometimes you even go as far as developing the idea, the product, the service, whatever, launching it, getting it to the point of sale. And then you realise that something isn't quite right. It just doesn't fit. And ultimately, you aren't excited about it. And I think the main reason is because it just doesn't feel like you. I've done it numerous times with Vintage Tree, my stationery business, where I've thought of a product, I thought that is a great idea, everybody is going to love it, and then there's just been nothing. One I did a couple of years ago, so I designed some really lovely teacher cards. I mean, I don't really normally make greetings cards, but we did a beautiful design with a colleague of mine. Really, really nice they were. Bright, cheerful, quite witty. Anyway, nobody got them. Nobody even bought one, I don't think. And I've now still got like a tray of them in my office somewhere. And it was just one of those things that just didn't work. And probably because it wasn't me. I say I don't make greetings cards as a rule. And I feel like it just didn't work for that reason. And maybe you've tried lots of different ideas for designing a product that you think you should be selling, and even selling it in a way that you think you should be as well. So maybe you're creating TikTok videos of you dancing around and pointing at the screen in random places, where you're going to add text in later. Come on, we've all done it, haven't we? But yeah, you hate TikTok. You never dance. You have to ask your partner or your teenager how to edit a video and add text. Is not you. So today's episode is all about how do you always make sure that you're staying true to you and your brand, being your most authentic self in front of your audience, whilst also learning to adapt and evolve in your business without losing your core identity. And it's a skill. It's a skill that I'm still trying to master as well. And I'm 14 years down the line. It's hard. And I realised just the other night that it is something that I'm struggling with too. So I think it puts me in a really great position to talk to you about it today and share how I'm managing to stay as authentic as possible in my business. While, I'm looking at my competitors who are showcasing their services and offers, and they're filling my social media feed and making me feel less and less sure that I'm doing any of it right at all. As a female entrepreneur, and honestly, I think as a female in general, I just think we have this really annoying and innate tendency to compare ourselves, even if we don't want to, and we say we're not going to do it. We can't help it. I just think it's in our genetics. And it's like we're panicking, even if we see someone doing something that we think we should be doing, because obviously they're smashing it and we're not. And it must be because they're, dancing around their kitchen in their pants or whatever. Which, to be fair, probably does bring in a lot of viewers. But it's not something that you'd normally do. So why would you do it? To try and promote your business, Because if it's not you, people will see that. And if it doesn't fit with your product or your service, it's not relevant, and most importantly, it's not your personality, then why would you even bother? So, for example, if I sold lingerie or I was a personal trainer or a Vegas stripper, come to think of it, then yes, it probably would make total sense to show people what I look like in my pants. It's relevant, you know? But I'm none of those things. I'm a small business owner. I'm a woman who has a really bad stationery addiction and one that loves to create. I'm a mentor to other women who love to create. I'm a northerner who enjoys a proper brew and a slice of cake in an overpriced tea room. I do. It drives my husband mad. But I'll happily pay £4.50 for a slice of Victoria sponge that I know's cost them to make, £4 for the whole cake. I'm a first-time mum who often feels as equally overwhelmed and exhausted by motherhood as she does fulfilled and bursting with love. I'm a woman trying to make it to the end of each day running 2 businesses with a small child. But I'm doing it. And these are the things that need to be filling my feed. These make up me and my identity and my motivation and my purpose, who I am and why I do what I do. I don't need to dance in my pants, and honestly, I really don't want to either. It wouldn't gain me any followers, that's for sure. I would obviously lose quite a few in the process. But more importantly, I don't have to, because it's not my style. It's not an accurate representation of me or of my business. People like to buy and they like to support people that they like and that they feel they can relate to. And these will be your tribe. These will be the people who are going to follow you avidly. They're going to be the ones who are interested in what you're about to say and what you've got to show them because they relate to you. So if you put a false reading out there on your social media marketing or wherever, it isn't going to do you any favours. It'll confuse people, if anything. They'll sense the uncomfortableness, the pressure you feel of trying to do what everyone else is doing, and it won't feel authentic. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm one of these people that will do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Sometimes be awkward. Sometimes I can be a little bit awkward, admittedly, but mainly because if it's not me, I won't do it. I don't see the point. And it doesn't mean that I haven't done it in the past. I have. I've tried loads of things, especially with Vintage Twee when I was first learning. I've tried loads of things because I thought maybe that's why this person is more successful than me. So I'll give it a go. I've done certain reels, like trending reels. I've designed certain products that I feel like other people are doing well with, whatever. But I've come to realise that it just doesn't work. I'll give you an example. So I follow a lot of female business coaches because this whole area is new to me, admittedly, it is. I've been a designer for a long time, since 2010. And I've always had a physical product to sell, something tangible, people can see it, they can hold it, they can feel it, they can fall in love with it before they buy it, It's one of those things that when you're scrolling a feed, you know instantly if you like it or not because it's your style or it's not. You can see it. And you tend to find that if you are a product-based business, you'll sell a lot more quickly with a product because people know what they're getting for their money. It's something tangible. So you'll post a photo on your Facebook or your Instagram feed and someone will love it and they'll message you and they'll buy it. But if you're service-based, it's a lot different. And I was noticing that a lot of the women coaches that I follow, they put a lot of offers on their feeds with what we call hooks to get people's attention. Comment this if you want me to send you the secret of getting seen on social media. Or 3 things that made me my first million. Read the caption, swipe to see, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a hook and a half. Who doesn't want to know how to make £1 million doing just 3 things? We all do. But it was really annoying me, and it's still annoying me, because ultimately they are just selling air. But before it annoyed me, before I realised that so many people were doing this, I just thought that's how I had to be as well. And when I designed the website for Her Handmade Hustle, I adopted the sort of the same tone of voice that actually it didn't sound like me at all a lot of the time. It sounded like these other women on social media that were presenting their offers and their personality and how they work. But I thought that that was why they were succeeding or appearing to, because let's be honest, nobody ever really knows how well someone is doing unless you're honest about it. What we put out there on social media can be totally different to our actual experience. So, bearing this in mind, that I just felt like it wasn't me. I felt like something wasn't clicking. So last month, while I've been off, I rewrote all the content on my website for Her Handmade Hustle. I redid all my offers to make sure that they reflected me and my core values. I'm honest, I'm real, I'm down to earth, I'm friendly, I'm helpful, I can be funny, I'm told at times. So I rewrote it all, and I ignored what I thought that I should sound like, and instead I wrote as I actually sound. And it reads so much better. It feels so much more like me. And hopefully there's not this massive discrepancy now between what I put out there on social media and what people find when they come to the website. I stopped thinking what I had to do, what other people were doing. And instead, I sat down on my notepad and I thought about what I could offer to women who are wanting to work with me because they actually like me. Because, that is the most important thing when you run a business and you want consistent sales and you want a decent following and these avid fans that want everything that you can offer. People have to like you. Now, I don't want to fill my feed with false promises, with ideology, with fake images and what I call air, because I don't believe in it. I want to show people my true self and give them encouragement and motivation and inspiration when they scroll my feed. I want them to be able to resonate with everything that I say, when it pops up, to make them laugh, to make them feel warm inside, to make them feel cared for, because that's who I am. I want them to be able to use the information and the tips and the advice that I can give for free on my social media and other outlets. And I want them to say that it was useful, And I want them to actually say that I've helped them achieve a tangible result or a goal with my paid services as well. Such as like learning how to use a program like Canva, like a design program, or create a social media banner because you don't know how. Or actually physically see more engagement on your social media pages and more sales, more money in your pocket. I 100% am not into selling air because I'm a doer and I want to see results. I like to see people succeed. And I realise this is what I need to focus on going forward with Her Handmade Hustle. So, excuse me, you might be thinking, well, how do you know how to do this? Like, how do you know how to be your most authentic self? Like, it's a weird question because it should come naturally to you. But actually, I think once you're in the spotlight and you run a business and you're out there for everybody to see, you sort of question who you are a little bit, don't you? Think, oh, what should I be showing people? And how do you stay authentic to yourself when you're trying to also stay current and on top of like these ever-changing landscapes of running a business? Because you still have to be flexible and you still have to be ready to, to change and embrace the new trends that are out in order to stay current. So I'm not saying don't do reels, they're important. I'm not saying don't keep up to date with any important trends or things that might benefit your business. What I am saying is instead of making yourself and your business fit into them, make them fit into you and your business. So I read one of the trends for 2024 is playful content. Okay, it's the new like brand personality. People want to see stuff on your feed that is playful and happy and joyful. which is great. It doesn't mean you have to act all happy and joyful, film yourself like grinning into the camera, frolicking in the countryside, chucking your products up into the air, whatever, dancing around Aldi. You don't have to do all that. It's not what it's about. But instead, you need to find a way to create fun and playful content that fits with your brand and you. So unless maybe you do, obviously, if you do go around and frolic in the countryside, that's what you like doing at weekends, then great, film it, put it out there. I don't. But if you do, brilliant, go for it. So for me, let's use Vintage Tweet as an example, as it's a product-based business, so it's a bit easier. So I might decide to show, say, a short video of my hands creating one of my items. I could make it playful by perhaps adding a time lapse so you can speed up the video so it makes it a little bit faster, and put some upbeat music with it, something fun. Sometimes I think it's nice to show people like something normal, like I might show myself stopping to have a sip of my brew or a bite of my scone, which I always do. Make it human. It's still playful, but it's also still me. And that's what you have to think in the back of your head. So you can still get creative and you can create amazing content that people are going to love because it's real. You need to be transparent. So none of this selling air, wishy-washy crap. It doesn't encourage anybody to trust you. It doesn't. You need to be telling them how much things are. There's nothing worse than not knowing the price of something that you're interested in. Like the amount of websites I've been on, particularly like the business coach, coaching industries, that don't tell you how much it's going to cost to get some help. It's crazy. I got on one the other day and it said, book an appointment with me. Let's talk. Like, no thanks. I want to know how much it's going to cost me and what I'm going to get for it. Transparency is so important when you run your own business, and it is the key to being authentic. And it was the main focus of mine when I've been working on my new WhatsApp support service, which you may have heard about already if you signed up to my newsletter. You may have landed in your inbox this week. It's £19 a month. You can get me on the other end of the phone to text whenever you want, whenever you need help and advice. It's simple. It's 19 quid for 1 month. For you be transparent about where you work. Do you work at your dining room table, or do you have an office? Do you work in a shed? How are your products made? What are your business beliefs, your ethos? Do you work in your pyjamas with a 4-year-old under your desk in the school holidays? No, just me, that one. So you need to tell people about your commitments to things like sustainability, anything that you truly believe in. It's all content and it's all authentic content. And actually, you'll probably find that it won't even feel like too much of an effort, as it will come easier to you to think of all the stuff to talk about and post about, because it's coming from you, from inside you. So talk to your audience as you would a friend. Unless, of course, you're always very drunk with your friends, and then maybe not. I've got a couple of friends that would probably say that I shouldn't talk to people as I do to them. But you know what I mean. People are going to fall in love with you, your personality, and then they're going to fall in love with your products and your service. And actually, you don't need to do much more than just being your true self. So I've got a little exercise for you to do here. So you might want to grab a notepad, grab a pencil, pen, whatever, or if you're on your phone, on your computer, and open up a new page. And I want you to write down 6 of your core values. So what are the things that define you? Think about what you want people to write about you in your obituary, or what you want to be remembered for. What are the 6 things that make up the true essence of you and what you stand for? So I'll give you an example. Like, these are mine. These are what I've got on my website. I've got honest. I've got caring, supportive, inspiring, courageous, and humorous. These are sort of like the 6 things that I base my whole business values around. Now, once you've got your list of values, you should have 6 things on your list. You need to think about how you can incorporate them into your brand voice, the things that you're putting out there to people. What content can you create to show people what you do and who you are using these core values as your starting point? So if we were using my core values as an example, there's a recent one that I put on my vintage twee page, and it was a while ago. Actually, it wasn't that recent. It was a while ago. I think it was last summer. Yeah. So I posted a photo of myself at my desk, that my daughter, who was 3 at the time, took because she wanted to take a picture of mummy working. She came up to me and she asked me, "Oh, mummy, can I take a picture of you at your desk?" Now, I wasn't having the best day. I think it was the summer holidays, so you can imagine trying to run a business and look after her. I had about probably 2-3 hours sleep as usual. I'd had this lull in sales because I'd lost consistency over the holidays. I was opening and closing, so I didn't have that energy, of like making money and thinking, yeah, I've got all this sort of stuff coming in and I feel great about myself, my business. And I just generally didn't feel very proud or successful. But bless her, she was so enthusiastic to capture mummy doing her, wedding and paper things. That's what she called it. And I just couldn't say no. So what did I do? I sat up straight and I just smiled like I was a millionaire. Because you know what? For that split second, I actually felt like one. She was looking at me with the camera, pointing in my face, really proud. And I thought, just smile, Joanne. Let her do it. Let her take this picture. And it was a gentle reminder that even though it's been tough for small businesses, and I think it particularly so over the last year, 2, 3, we fight to keep them going for a reason. She was my reason. And that's why I sat up straight and I smiled that day. And I actually decided to put the photo on my social media feed. And I'm going to put it on the Her Handmade Hustle one as well, just so you can see it. And it sort of like tells people how I felt in that moment. I wrote it in the caption. And it was honest. And it was hopefully inspiring. And I think it was just a little bit courageous too, because like I said, I wasn't having the best day. I was feeling vulnerable. I was feeling like my business, couldn't sustain itself in the school holidays. I didn't know what to do. I had this choice to make between making money and surviving and paying the mortgage and looking after my little girl. And obviously she will always come first. So this post sort of represented everything that I stood for, and I wanted my business to show and communicate with people. And that post got a lot of engagement because people resonated with it when they saw it. They loved the authenticity. And actually, it still remains one of the top performing posts to this day on my page. And it showed people me at work as well, which people always like. They're nosy, aren't they? They like to see your house. They like to see the inside of where, their things are being made. People also saw my motivation for doing what I do. They saw that I was a real person with real concerns and real feelings about my business, and that I also wasn't afraid to show it, because that's what I feel the problem is with social media, that a lot of businesses put things out there that aren't real. We've all seen those posts that say, "Oh, we've sold out of this. God, we're so busy. Make sure you get your orders in now." Like this pressure of trying to get you to buy, and actually probably they're putting it out there because they've had no sales and they've got nobody interested. We just don't know. But I think that it's what truly makes your business stand out, being honest. So have a think about what your core values are and try to write down some ideas alongside them about the kind of social media content or blog posts that you could create based around them. It's a really great way to get some natural, authentic content for your followers, and it'll probably come a lot easier to you than trying to overthink your next post. Just posting a photo of your morning coffee and a pastry just so you look good because everyone else is doing it. When actually what you really have for breakfast, if you get time at all, is like the dregs of the packet of Frosties and some questionable milk because you probably gave the good stuff to the kids. or is that just our household? You know, there's definitely no smashed avocado on sourdough toast in our house in the morning, I'm telling you. I'm lucky if I even get my breakfast. In fact, I caught my daughter the other day. So funny. She was hiding behind the sofa. I mean, I didn't know this at the time, but I couldn't find her. And I was just like, Eden, where are you? She was really quiet. I thought, oh, she's up to no good. All parents know if you can't hear your child, then you know that they're doing something they shouldn't be. And I searched her out. I heard this little noise and it sounded like a little mouse. And I looked behind the sofa and she'd just got like the giant tub of Nutella out of the cupboard at 7 a.m. and she's just helping herself to it. You know, fingers right in there, no spoon. I just figured that was as good as breakfast as she was going to get that day of half term. You know, I had to let that one go because you got to pick your battles, haven't you, at the end of the day? And I just let it go. I thought, whatever, it's fine. She made herself full quite quickly. But, you know, it's so important that we just do give people a glimpse into our real life because it is ultimately what will make people fall in love with you. So we know how important it is to keep it authentic when it comes to your business and staying true to yourself. But do you ever find yourself like having a complete identity crisis and sometimes not being sure of who you are and what it is that you're offering and how to actually even be authentic? It's so weird. It's like the creative person's equivalent to like a midlife crisis, I think. You know, where you just end up going a bit mental, trying lots of different things to see if there's anything that sticks and just feels like the new you. And it's stuff that you'd never usually do, or that's not your style, but you feel so confused and lost that you just try it because you just actually don't know or have a clue about which direction to take with your business. We've all been there, me included. And it's not a bad thing. It's all part of the creative process of finding out who we are and what we want to do. But it's annoying, isn't it? Because you just feel so stuck. But I've always found that whenever I'm having what I'm calling this creative crisis, it's usually because I'm just panicking and I'm overthinking things and procrastinating. Now, I'm usually ignoring my inner voice or my instinct that tells me that it's okay to mix things up. Absolutely fine. You need to. You need to stay current, change things up. But you also need to stay on brand and true to yourself and what it is that you can offer. Bloody hell, when I was pregnant, right, I started creating needle felted animals. I mean, I don't know why. One day I said to myself, oh, I'd really like to try that needle felting. You know, for all the needle felters out there, hats off to you because it is bloody hard. And I tried to do it and I stabbed myself so many times. It was ridiculous. I think it took me about, oh God, maybe 3 months, like a whole sort of trimester of my pregnancy to create this tiny little llama, which looked more like a camel. And even my daughter says now, what the hell is that, Mum? I still got it. I'll see if I can find it. I'll put a picture of it on my social media feed if I find it. But God, you know, needle felted animals, where did that come from? I wanted to release a brand of baby clothing at one point. I bought a machine. I'd made some designs. They were pretty good designs, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had absolutely no experience in any of these things. And really, if I'm truly honest with myself, like, I didn't really feel excited about them because they were so far from my actual talents, which were, you know, creating paper-based products, that just didn't feel right. So, of course, it didn't go anywhere. So if you're feeling a little lost or you're questioning your offerings and what it is that you actually do, just think on it a while. You know, does it feel like you? Or are you just having a creative crisis? Are you that middle-aged man that's driving around in a soft top? I saw one the other day actually in front of us on our day out. And I mentioned it to my husband. You know, you can still reinvent yourself if you're a little bit bored with what you're currently doing. That's absolutely fine. But just make sure that you stay authentic to who you are and what you're doing in order to make your business sustainable in the long run. And I think it's really important to remember that when you have your own business, you're going to need to be prepared to reveal a little bit of yourself to your audience and your customers, you know, to show them who you are, to show them that authenticity. Because it's sadly not enough these days to just have your products on show, as amazing as they may be. You know, it was when I was first started Vintage Twee. I didn't have to say too much about me and what it is I do. People weren't interested in that. They just wanted to buy the stuff. But now it's different. It is so much more social. However, I think it's important to note that you just don't have to do anything that you aren't comfortable with, as I said, because that wouldn't be being authentic. Like for me, I don't post photos of my little girl on social media because I don't feel comfortable with it. You know, people know that I'm a mum from how knackered I always look, you know, and they always see pictures of the state of my living room during the school holidays or my office. I give people a glimpse into my life so they can understand who I am, and then they can decide if I'm the kind of person they want to work with. You know, like for me, you're not going to get these complicated webinars or networking events to attend that I've organised. I thought about it. Everybody else was doing it. You know, everyone else is there promising to help other women in business this way. And maybe that works for them and that's fine. But it's not me. Like I said before, I'm more of a doer. You know, I prefer to work with people one-on-one with a brew and a notepad, and we can figure out together what you need to do to get to where you want to be. I'm not a PowerPoint kind of girl. Never have been. I would rather show you how to do something so you know how to do it yourself next time and build on your skills this way. You know, when people message me sometimes, if they don't know how to do something, I will send them a screen recording of me doing it on my phone so that they can copy it, you know, that they know how to do it the next time themselves. Because that's how I believe people truly learn, and how you can stand on your own 2 feet and run a successful business by being shown. I'd rather show you how to do something. You know, I really would. I like to give examples of what I would do if I was you. I like to offer reassurance, you know, not leave you to figure it all out on your own. I'm a bit of a hand holder, really, admittedly. But, you know, I think we could all do with a bit of mothering. Don't you? Especially as mothers, sometimes we're often forgotten. As much as our partners try and take care of us, I think our needs are just so far down the bottom of the pile, aren't they? That we often feel a little bit neglected. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, how nice is it to feel safe and supported and just genuinely cared about? And it's something that me and my sister often say quite a lot. It's the feeling that we miss the most about our mum since she's been gone. You know, she's that one person, your mum, who truly cares about every single thing that you do. You know, she remembers all the significant dates in your diary. She checks on you if you're having a bad day or you're having a bit of a wobble. And I guess that's how I describe my style of coaching, really. It's warm, it's genuine, it's familiar, and it's nurturing. Because, you know, I'll worry about you. I will. Trust me. I'll check on you if you're having a wobble. I'll support your decisions and I'll give you honest advice because I want to see you succeed. I'm rooting for you. I'm not pushy or interfering or salesy, and I'm not fair weathered either. You know, I'll always be there. I'm always want to know that you can count on me. You know, I asked my daughter the other day what came to mind when I said the word mum to her. What did that word sort of make her think of when she heard it? You know, I was hoping for some like profound answer and some heartwarming way to end this podcast episode authentically, you know. You know what her answer was when I asked her? What was the one thing that she said to me that she thought of when I said the word mum to her? Lemons. I mean, what does that even mean? Like, seriously, lemons? I don't even remember the last time we had a lemon in the house. Perhaps I should have known better than to ask a 4-year-old to close my podcast episode for, you know, in an inspiring way. But hey ho, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Well, it just made me laugh, so I just wanted to share that with you. But anyway, I'm launching the new WhatsApp support service that I've been talking about at the end of this month. And I wanted to mention that this kind of nurturing, honest and motherly support is exactly what you can expect from it. It's a service that I don't think, I haven't seen one out there like it. They say maybe a reason why, but I'm willing to give it a go. But I'm literally going to be there at the other end of a text message to help you with any business advice or problems or just anything that you're struggling with. You can just text me if you get stuck with how to do something on social media. Text me if you need advice on a price point for a new product, or you need some advice and help on a new range that you're working on, or a second opinion, help with figuring out how to add music to a reel. Any of these small things, just ask. It's supposed to be a relaxed and casual service, just like having a friend in your phone that you can text when you need some advice. Like you've got friends that you always text, certain friends, don't you, about certain things. So if I've got friends in my phone that I always text about my child and advice around that, like, oh God, how do you get your kid to sleep? And I'm losing my mind trying to figure it out. Just don't text me about that, because I guarantee you I don't know the answer to that. I've tried everything. But anything small business related, particularly creative business related, I'm your woman, okay? And you can have me as your business mum for just £19 a month. For 1 month, for 2 months, 3 months, whatever you want, 6 or 12 months, whatever you need. Because the beauty of it is you can just pay as you go. Because I know some months you may need me, you may have more questions, or maybe you're working on something that you need help with, and maybe you can afford it that month. And then other months, you've got a lot of other commitments, birthdays to shell out for, and it's just not possible. That's okay. My dreaded month is October, for the record. Oh, birthdays, anniversaries. It's a busy one. But I just want you to know that I will be there for you if you need me. And all you'll have to do is text me. And that is the beauty of this new service. Like I say, it's casual, it's informal, and it's there to work for you. All the details are on my website, herhandmadehustle.co.uk, and you'll see it under the Creative Business Assistant Service, under the Services tabs. It's not actually live to buy until the end of this month, but you can register your interest and sign up for my newsletter to be notified when it goes live. So I'll put the link to that in my show notes for anyone that's interested. But just to recap on today's episode, the main things to take away from it are: number 1, try and be as authentic as possible when communicating with your audience. Don't fall into the trap of doing what everyone else is doing because you think that you should. Number 2, you can still evolve and change within your business to keep on top of what is popular, but make it fit into your business and around you rather than the other way around. Number 3, always be transparent. Always, always. A lot of people can work you out within, a minute, if that. So let them see a little bit of your life so that they can see your authenticity and who they are supporting when they are considering making that all-important purchase from you. Number 4, identify your core values. I want you to write down 6 qualities that define you and use them as the foundations for all of your social media content and marketing. And number 5, lastly, don't worry if you find yourself in the middle of a creative crisis. Don't panic or overthink everything. Just take a step back. Trust what feels like you and what doesn't. And if you're doing reinvent yourself, that's fine. Reinvent yourself, your offerings, whatever. Just make sure you keep them true to you and what you are good at. So that brings today's episode to a close. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been helpful. And you've come away thinking differently about how to present yourself in your business. Just to make it that little bit easier for you to think of things to tell people about and to show people that your true authentic self is out there for them to see. I'm going to get off now. I've got quite a lot to do today, so I'm going to go. But I've really enjoyed recording this podcast episode. I hope you have enjoyed listening to it, and I will be back. I think next week I'm having a break because I've got a long awaited little trip, which I'm really excited for, a little family holiday. So we're going to be taking a break for a week, but I'll be back the week after that with a brand new episode for you to listen to. So thanks so much for your time today, and I wish you a fabulous day, whatever it is that you're doing. Take care. Bye-bye.